Okay.
All right. Good evening, everybody, and welcome. It is May 9th, and I am so excited to be on this Zoom today. Lynn Hagedorn is so gracious to join us. I know we're all so busy, but whenever we get an opportunity to hear from her, I know I'm all over that. So I think tonight we're going to be talking about some celebration, and maybe can you give us a little, get us pumped up for what's coming? You don't have to spill the beans, but maybe just reassure us there's some amazing things coming. We need to be ready, right?
Yes, you should have made sure I had wine with dinner so I'd save
Oh,
more.
I should have. We could have squeezed a deal out of a little secret out of you.
All I had was water tonight. I had to hydrate. Oh my goodness. You guys, I am so pumped up. I am so excited. There's so much going on at corporate right now. There is so much going on. Michael and I really had the privilege a couple weeks ago hearing from two of the corporate people. And we actually spent about 5 hours with them where they went over a bunch of the initiatives that are coming down the pike. And for those of you that know Michael, my husband, you know that he's been around for a while in network marketing. You know, he's been around for 30 years. And so he listens, but, you know, with the wisdom of years, he can sometimes not be as excited as other people are because he understands, like he's been there before. But what I can tell you is he was blown away. He's just like, you've got to be kidding. This is incredible. And it was so funny. It kind of reminded me, so that we had that like 4 or 5 hour meeting. And then the other night we spoke with him again. And then he wanted to go over kind of some updated information. And he kept saying, and that's not all. And that's not all, you know, and it's just like, oh my gosh, this is awesome. Like, you've got to be kidding. He's like, and that's not all. So you guys, there's some great things happening in between. Typically they launch new initiatives, campaigns, promotions, products, something at Top Achievers. And of course, Top Achievers is in June. So even though there's just a certain percentage of people going to Top Achievers, whatever is launched at Top Achievers is, of course, for everyone, which is awesome. So stay tuned for June for that. And then Celebration, they will be launching again, campaigns, promotions, different initiatives, products, and then New York Kickoff. So what we had the privilege of learning about is what they're looking at doing. You know, again, smart companies, which we're a part of, a very, very smart company. They're always forecasting ahead. They're always thinking ahead. And here's what I can say, because I don't think I'm really speaking out of turn with this. I think that people kind of know that this is the direction the company was going, because first they had to do customer first, right? So here's the cool thing about the customer first program. Now the company knows who people are and what they want from Isagenix. You know, are they a product user? Are they a faithful product user? You know, how many times do they order? How many times a year do they order? How many times a month do they order? What do they order? You know, they're able to follow that. They're able to know who is a customer. And then they're able to now figure out, like, who is a builder? Who is a business builder? So what's so great about this for us, and this is where, again, being partnered with a company that is so smart and forward thinking really frees us up to do what we do best, which is share the Isagenix story. That's really where we want to stay focused. We don't want to have to focus on all the other stuff. So how great that Isagenix is working on all sorts of initiatives to help us not only to gain customers, but to retain them and to increase their order basket. And that is probably what had me jumping up and down the most. You guys, and again, I have to be really careful, and I can't say more than this, but I'm talking about layers and layers and layers and layers of amazing things coming for our customers, to where your customers not only are going to love their Isagenix products, which we know they will, but the odds and the chances of them staying are going to be even exponentially higher than they already are from the great results they're having. So I'm so excited. So it's not just going to be up to us, right, to make sure that we're staying in touch with our customers. Isagenix is going to help us in that, not only with great information to our customers, but wonderful promotions and things that are for customers only, that are really specials for them to help keep them engaged And not only that, but interested in hearing about new and interesting other products, because we know that increasing order basket is huge. And, I know for Michael and me, one of the things that we love so much about Isagenix is how steady it is. It takes time to build a foundation, but just like with anything that's worth achieving, it's worth it, you guys, to be with a legacy company. Michael and I spoke about this on one of the last Zooms, about how rare that is in today's world in network marketing, and how so many people, they just want the quick, fast, and easy. How can I make the quick, fast, and easy buck? And a lot of owners are that way too. And it's sad, but it's true. And I think sometimes some of the owners, they see the millions they can make even in just 5 years, knowing the company may not make it past 5 years, but they don't care because they're going to make millions of dollars in those 5 years. And that's where I'm just grateful that 6 years ago that we partnered with Isagenix, with a company that's truly a legacy, that they're going to be here for years and years and years, continuing to build a solid foundation upon a product that is so transformational. I mean, it's just incredible. And I know I'm kind of wandering off from what you said, Dana, but I think that it's just so important to talk about how special this company really is. So to answer kind of your question a little bit, there's going to be some things coming at Top Achievers, but at Celebration is going to be the beginning of what we're going to start to see with some of the new initiatives and promotions specific to product users and specific to builders. And I'll tell you what, you're going to love some of the things coming for you business builders that you're going to be able to earn. And it's not going to just be 5 people or 9 people. Like, a lot of people are going to have the opportunity to earn some really, really great stuff that you're going to be pretty fired up about. So I wish I could say more, but I only had water to drink tonight, Dana. Sorry.
We won't tell, I promise. All of
right.
us.
Right. Yeah. No, you know what? It's really, really exciting. It really is. And Michael and I have been talking nonstop about it since we heard about some of these things. Again, just truly in complete gratitude to be a part of the real deal. And now with us going into the United Kingdom, European Union, I think we're going to start seeing our company now go into exponential hyper growth momentum. And, every day, you guys, you should be asking someone, who do you know? Who do you know in England? Who do you know in London? Who do you know in Scotland? Who do you know in the UK? Because, several great things can happen from that, right? Maybe they know someone, but most importantly, they'll ask you why. And it's a great opener, just to share with them a little bit about your products and about your business. Oh.
So did we have another, well, let's talk about, can you let us know at Celebration why we want to shoot for executive? Now, Celebration we know is in August, and you and Michael have a really cool thing planned for executives or above. And then Isagenix also has a crystal, what's it called? Welcome to the Big Leagues or something.
It's the Crystal League. Mm-hmm.
So yep. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Absolutely. Well, first of all, I know you wouldn't be on this call if you didn't want to make Isagenix work for you and for your family, and to build a residual income stream through your virtual nutritional franchise that will set you free. I mean, that's what this is all about. And so it's finding that steady pace of sharing the story, not letting your highs get too high, not letting your lows get too low. And I'm telling you guys, many of you were in 10 to the top, or if you've heard me speak, I always talk about consistency, consistent, condensed activity. How many times today have you told the Isagenix story? I mean, I can tell you that the reason that I was able to propel out of the gates and to build one of the largest businesses is because I always have my eye on executive, always. Not only for myself, but I'm always looking in my tree. So for myself, no matter where I am, if I go executive, immediately I'm going executive again. I'm going executive again. I'm going executive again. Well, why? Because that's what we do. How many times have we how many times today have I told the Isagenix story, about how it's changing lives and how people are able to, lean up, feel amazing, gain energy, better sleep, all those things. Who do you know? Who do you know that can use some additional income in their family right now? That's not able to sleep at night. Like, we have such a gift. But executive is everything. And it's first leading by example of yourself and going first. Now, the great thing about right now is we're in the middle of a crystal reset. So if you're newer, then you just, from whatever day you started, you go 180 days out, and that is your date for executive. For the crystal reset, the date is July 12th. But to your question, Dana, we should be going executive anyway, regardless of celebration, because that's how you build a successful business. And then identifying who on your left and who on your right wants to run to executive, and then help them. Let's look at your tree. Who's on your left, who's on your right? Because think about this. If you create a culture within your organization of doing that, A, C, M, D, E, consultant, manager, director, executive, all of a sudden your tree starts to grow into a jungle, right? Your back office tree, you start to grow. You're making money. Your team is making money. You want to get to a director as fast as you can to get in those director pools, and then executive. So shoot for executive at least no later than July 12th, because if making it by July 12th allows you to go to our executive team retreat, which is from noon to 5 on August 5th. And you guys, we have some really exciting things planned. We're in the kind of the preliminary stages right now. But between Lisa and me and Michael, I know we have some pull to get some really cool people there, and you're going to love it, and you're going to want to be in that room, and you're going to see pictures and videos, and you'll be like, dang it, why didn't I push? July 12th, you guys can do it. That is so far away. That is so many weeks away. And remember, you only need to enroll 10 people who know 2 people who eat. That's it. We go to work to complicate it, right? It's so simple. We go to work to complicate it. So July 12th, put it all over your house. Go executive so that you can be at that. And then the next day on August 5th is our corporate leadership meeting, which this year is only executives and above. And already I'm hearing incredible things about who they're going to have speak and train there. So many of the platinums are going to be speaking and sharing their leadership. I mean, this is a leadership training. You're going to want those nuggets. You're going to want to be in that room, and it's only executives and above. So August 5th, executive retreat for our team. August 6th, corporate leadership. Definitely want to be in that room. And then you'll be able to go to the Crystal League, which is a special party that corporate puts on, which is amazing. And they really spoil you with amazing hors d'oeuvres. You get a special award. Last year they had a special shirt. And you get early seating for the general session, which that's awesome. You get a great seat. So you want to go executive. But those things are all great, you guys, and I wouldn't want to miss out. I know for me, when I'm at those events, I want to be in every one of those rooms. I want to hear that, because it's all about sound bites. And those sound bites are what can take you to the next level. At those events, I want to say, it's like your belief goes to another level. And sometimes you're not even sure why. It was something somebody said. It was a little sound bite you heard from stage, or maybe it was even in a restroom. Maybe it was in the hallway. But I just can't even imagine ever missing an event like Celebration. And you want to be executive so that you don't miss any of it. Any of it. This is going to be a special one this year, with all the new initiatives and everything they're doing with Customer First, and of course with the UK launching and learning about international growth. I just can't say enough about it.
Sounds amazing. I cannot wait to see what that's all about.
Well, and actually, Dana, I mean, you're a great one to speak of this too. I mean, the director pools and the executive pools, when we talk about, this is how we build our business. How many times today has the Isogenic story been told? That's what we do. We build consultants, which then build managers and directors and executive, and then we do it again. But when you're a director, you earn shares in the director pools. And so you guys in your back office, you want to make sure that you go in the campaigns and promotions section. You want to read about those director and executive pools. You don't need to memorize them. You don't even really need to understand them. I'm telling you, if you just stay focused on the action of telling the Isogenic story, enrolling, advancing yourself, and helping your team advance, you won't even need to understand how it works. You're just going to be hearing that you just earned in the pools. That's the beauty of this. The action is what takes you to that. But what has that leadership pool money meant for you and your family, Dana?
Oh my golly, it's been amazing. Our goal is we're not changing our lifestyle. We're not taking extravagant trips. We're not buying extravagant things. We're just buckling down and using that money to create freedom. We're paying off our house, the house we almost lost before even jumping into this profession. And so, the whole thing is when you find some success, you can find freedom and you can choose. I always say design your life. You can design your life however you want it. But that's not all about the job. It's also being responsible with what you've, earned and that kind of thing. So, there'll be plenty of time to go and have fun. And that's not to say we don't, maybe go out to dinner a little more than we should, or, that I don't get a pedicure maybe more than I should. Okay. Well, I'll admit to that. But really big picture is when you get a nice big bonus from one of those pools, it's not money necessarily that we have in our budget, that it's above and beyond. And so we can use that money in a huge chunk or a bigger chunk to really get closer to our goal. So it's been a huge blessing, especially our first 3 were incredible amounts of money that I wasn't even expecting. So,
well, and I think it's to remember that, kind of what I was saying with executive is, do you know 10 people who know 2 people who eat? And really not overcomplicating it. And it's really mastering the mundane. You've heard that before. And it's not mundane when you're speaking life into people for the very first time, and all of a sudden they capture it and they got it and they're excited. And that's so exciting. And, the leadership pools happen occasionally. I mean, we just found out today actually that we earned in the platinum pools. But Michael and I are so focused on the day to day of just continuing to do. We're just steady. And I'm telling you, even the reports, like we don't focus on all of that because, and I'm not saying you shouldn't. I mean, it's good to focus on the reports, but I'm just telling you that it's kind of like a basketball player when they say, keep your eye on the ball and not the scoreboard. We're not always looking at the scoreboard. We're keeping our eye on the ball, which is activity. And in our profession, it's talking about your products and your business to as many people as you can in a squished, condensed period of time as you can. The starting and stopping is what can really take people out. But celebration is really, really special. You just don't want to miss it. And it's in August. And I know some of you have already said in your minds, I'm not going. And I just want you to rethink that. Because this business is so much about energy. It's an energy. It's a feeling. It's an emotion. And being there is so important. And some people say, oh, well, you know what? I'm not into motivation, or I'm okay. I got it. And I'm like, no, but you don't understand, because what you're doing is setting something in motion for your entire team. And so if you don't go and you say, you know what, I'm just not going to do it this year, your team is going to say the same thing, because it's one of those things like, what is it? That people will do more of what you're doing than what you say. So then you're going to say, hey, you know what? You should go to the next event. And then you're like, well, you didn't go to the last event. And so, but it's all unspoken. It's not being said. And so first of all, you need to be in that seat, because you're going to fly out of that seat afterwards and say, I cannot believe I almost didn't go. Like, this was so important to be there and to be around each other and like-minded people. And I can tell you that from the very first day in my former company, that I said yes. And I remember them saying, you need to get a ticket for the first, national convention. And I'm like, holy smokes, are you kidding me? I haven't made a dime yet. Like, not a dime. How am I going to get to Texas? How am I going to get there, in a hotel room? How am I going to do this? They're like, Lynn, you have to go. Like, if you're serious about this and you want to make this work, that's what people do. Like that. If you bought a franchise and the yearly conference with all the most successful people were going to be there, and you had just spent $100,000 and maybe even got a second mortgage on your house, you'd put everything into this. Would you not go? You'd be like, I'm going to get there no matter what. You would be there. So it's a mindset thing. If you're treating this as this little thing and, well, we'll see, and as soon as I start making money, it just doesn't work that way. So I can tell you that from the very beginning, when I was making not a dime, I had no success story. I had never been successful in network marketing. I bought my starter pack, which really, really irritated my husband, and I was in the doghouse. And I'm thinking, here, I've got to get to Texas, and, you know, how am I going to make this work? I mean, all this stuff. And I think sometimes people forget that Lynn was there. I was there. Like, I was that person too. We all start somewhere. But I can tell you that from that event, okay, so that was in, let's see, I started in 2003. So the event was in 2004. I have never missed an event. I've never missed a national event ever since then. So
Yeah.
I don't think success is by accident. It's the choices you make or that you don't make, right?
Well, there's this saying that not everybody in the room will make $100,000 or more per year, but everyone who makes $100,000 or more per year are in the room.
Without a doubt.
And, you know, success drops clues. I will tell you so my previous company, they were just sort of switching their conference schedule. So it was quite odd. I went to my first conference and I think I was just, I was at a rank that average earning was about $1,000 a month. Went to that conference. Absolutely. I mean, it came pretty much right when I had started. Absolutely changed my mind, changed my mindset, changed my belief. And by the very next conference, I was, I hate to use the ranks because it doesn't relate here, but I was making a 5-figure paycheck every single month, headed to the rank that I was when I left. And so I didn't miss one. I went to everything I could go to within reason, and every single one built on the last one, on the last one, on the last one. And I've done that so far with Isagenix. I've been to 3 of the 4 core events, and I cannot wait to get to Celebration.
Well, and again, I think it's, you know, sometimes people are like, well, you know, and they kind of make excuses around it, or they think someone can bring back the information, but that's not it. Because sometimes it's just one thing, or sometimes it's not even something you can even put into words, but you're different, you know? And so it's that whole 10 feet tall and bulletproof. It's the music in your voice. All those things are really, really important. And
yeah,
you know, if your goal is to make a 6-figure income, or whatever it happens to be, or maybe you want to make $1,000 a week, maybe you want to make $500 a week, you learn from those people there. And events in this profession will always be everything. We're always working from event to event. So I suggest this, especially if money is an excuse that you're making at this point. You guys, it's in August. And so again, it's a choice. And if money is an issue for you, and I'm just going to put this out here because I love you all, but you've got to change your mindset around money. And if you keep saying, I can't because of money, I can't because of money, your money will always hold you back. It will always hold you back. And it's really having an abundant mindset with that, saying, create. I'm going to create a life for me and for my family where I don't have to say I can't because of money anymore. And it all starts with your mindset around money for this event, and thinking, what can I do? What can I put on Craigslist? What can I start putting money away for? What can I start cutting out of my life? I had this conversation with someone the other day, just even with a budget, and it was just incredible. I mean, Michael and I both really spoke with her, and it really wasn't even about Isagenix. It was just someone that we really loved and cared about, that was just in a really bad mindset around money, and really kind of a poverty mindset. And she ended up coming back the next day and told us all the things that she cut out, all the things she canceled. And we were just really proud of her, because I think sometimes we're spending money in areas that are not serving us at all. And in order to change, you have to change. And to say, you know what, no more of this mindset that isn't serving me anymore. And I'm not saying that it doesn't exist in your life. I understand when money's tight, but I hope you understand what I'm saying around it. You have to make a decision. Michael came from absolute poverty. He was on food stamps, and he went through a whole thing, and then a bankruptcy early on in his life and with his kids. And he said, I had to change my whole mindset around money because I grew up in poverty and I had a poverty mindset, and I needed to have an abundant mindset. I needed to change my mindset around money. And so then every decision from that point forward was to create in a life and lifestyle where money starts to flow instead of this constant like running into a wall. Does that make sense, Dana? Oh, you're muted, Dana.
Okay, I did that, but my Wi-Fi is going in and out. I'm not sure what the problem is here, but can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah, that absolutely makes sense. And, one of my mentors told me a couple of years ago, really kind of showed me the difference between a mentality of abundance and a mentality of scarcity.
Mm-hmm.
When I realized that, I do these daily affirmations. I get right with my maker. I thank God for every little thing. I mean, sometimes when I first started, it was like, we were really in a scary spot. We had a for sale, date. Our home was going into foreclosure. We were paying bills in the 24-hour time frame. Like, we're going to shut you off if you don't pay this bill. We were the worst we had ever been financially. We had 4 kids depending on us, and it was freaking scary. And you can't help but sometimes get caught into that mindset of woe is me and scarcity, because things seemed real scarce during that economy time. And so I would think, thank you for this warm cup of coffee. Thank you for the nice breeze. Thank you. And I would find little things to be thankful for. And as I would go, my thankful journal, if you will, would become bigger and bigger things. And it really opened my eyes. When you have a whole lot of little things to be thankful for, it becomes this huge thing that you're grateful for. And all of a sudden your mindset starts to change, where you're coming from a place of abundance. And then all of a sudden abundance starts showing up.
Well, and I think to piggyback on that, and, having a couple of beautiful conversations with someone on this team about this, and just saying, it's really about casting a vision. And when we start finding ourselves in that scarcity of, oh my gosh, like I really need this to work, that's where it can start to get a little fragile because of your posture around other people. And so just to be really mindful of that and really cast a vision. And you guys, this is a time when I would say double down and focus like you've never focused before. Guard your focus more than you would a briefcase with $1 million. You need to have that kind of an abundant mindset, because you can make $1 million again. You have to have that mindset first. And, I was sharing with this person, think about the people you most respect on social media, that you love watching in Isogenics. How are they showing up? Do they show up wishy-washy? Are they doing different things? Do they kind of show up sometimes and not others? Or are they really, really focused, like in they're excited and they're casting a vision? And borrow others first. Take the success stories of the product and the success stories and the money stories from the team and the things you see in success and repost them. Because you know what? You're celebrating the team. You're a part of this team. But I'm telling you, that laser beam focus and casting a vision of what you're creating is what's going to draw other people to you. And so it's having an abundant money mindset of waking up every day with affirmations about what you're creating and what you're attracting. But you have to be that attractive person first, which goes back to why the events, because you leave an amazing, excited, full of passion person, and you learn so many things there when you're there to absorb, and you're there to just take in everything and what they're saying and all those sound bites. And I always have my phone ready to audio record, because when I go home, I listen to those things over and over and over again until they literally become my audio recorder. And that's where I give Michael kudos, because my husband has really taught me the importance of repetition, because that's how we learn lyrics to songs. We don't study it on a piece of paper, Adele's lyrics. We learn them by listening. So why don't we do the same thing, right? So at events, I'm always listening and I'm always recording. And then I go home and I listen to it over and over and over again. And so I just had to ask you again, how bad do you want it? Do you want it bad enough that you're going to listen to something over and over and over again until it's seeping out of your pores? And then people say, Lynn, how do you do that? How do you talk like that? How are you able to just share all that information? Because I've just soaked it all up over and over and over again. And really, when I rewind back in my life from the very, very beginning, in my former company, I really think that is what separated me from others who didn't have success is that I was determined, bound and determined to do it. And I was incredibly consistent, even when I was incredibly frustrated, and I'm like, I just had to bounce right back up. And somebody asked a question about the recording. Do you use a recording device? I use my phone. So I just use the audio record button on my phone. And I do that because I always make sure now with my iPhone that I get the one with the biggest, the 128 or whatever, because I love images, I love pictures, I love videos, and I love audio recording. And I always like to keep them on my phone. And so when I'm going back and listening to things all the time, so like with Dr. Paul Acero, who was talking about all the science, it's crazy. When I go back and listen the second, third, and fourth time, I didn't even remember he said those things on stage.
Yeah, that's me too. Yeah.
Yeah, right? And so that repetition is so important. And it's not that we go home. I don't go home and tell everybody else what Dr. Paul said, but my belief goes to another level. So when my belief goes to another level, how do you think my posture shifts and changes when I'm talking to somebody? Like, they can see how grounded I am in it. They can see how excited I am. They can feel my belief. And people are not going to follow wishy-washy people that kind of sort of sometimes think they're going to do this. Like, they want to follow people who are like, this is where they're going and they're putting it out there. This is what they're creating. This is what they're doing. Come along, come along. And they're sensing that. But you have to be doing that 6 months from now, you guys. Not just today because I said it and you're like, oh yeah, Lynn said that and now I get it. And then maybe on Sunday or next week, but some of you will have forgotten this a week later. Like you get out of that consistency. So really create things in your life to where you're not going to forget what it is that you're committed to. Commitment is doing the thing you said you were going to do long after the feeling you've said it in has passed. That's commitment. And it's saying, I'm going to do this no matter what. And I'm going to show up in my life and in social media as a leader that somebody would want to follow. And, that goes right back again to kind of the theme of tonight, which are events and making sure you're at celebration. For Crystal Reset, the date is actually Saturday for director. So, for those of you that didn't hit director in your regular time frame of 90 days, and you've got the Crystal Reset, that is Saturday. So go for it. Be the example, right? You have to go first for your team and making sure you put that out there, making sure your team knows it's Saturday. Go director. And I cannot tell you how many times on our team, people have literally done it in days. People, when you want something and it's like the dartboard and you're laser beam focused, you're like, I'm going to get those 6 consultants no matter what. And it's crazy. You've had like all these days to do it and then people get it done in like 48 hours. But go for it as a team.
Absolutely. Awesome. Okay. Well, Rach, do you have anything you want to add to how events have changed your belief system? And
Absolutely. And like Lynn, when I started in the industry 17 years ago, like in 2001, I think I missed my first one because I had such trouble with my husband, 3 little ones. He was not thrilled, but I never missed another one. And so in 16 years, I've been to every national training conference, and I've been with 3, this is my 3rd company now. I've never missed one. And they are really so key because even if you're a team of 1, you need it for your belief, because when you talk to somebody, conviction is everything. But if you're a team of 2, you can't expect the second person to go if you're not going to go. If you're a team of 5, you can definitely count on the other 4 not going if you're not going to go. Mm-hmm. If you're a team of 20, your other 19 people are not going to go if you don't go. And so you always have to start with yourself and you have to lead with yourself. And if they're really not optional, you don't wait for success before you go to one of the events. You have to go to the event because it'll change everything in your business, because it'll change your mindset. It'll change your belief in you. It'll change your belief in the product, the company, the industry. It just really changes everything. So you absolutely positively want to get to this event. And, I've been with girls who have literally had garage sales to come up with their money. They've sold gold, sold stuff on Craigslist. They've roomed with 4 people. They've packed peanut butter and jelly. They've slept on the floors. I mean, whatever you have to do to get there, but you will not regret it. So it's definitely, it's just a must. It's not optional for me. I don't care what I have going on. I'm going to be there.
Well, and hopefully you all have sensed a theme. Rachel's been incredibly successful. Dana's been very, very successful. I've been successful. And what are we all saying? We're saying the exact same thing. Mm-hmm. And if we had 50 other top leaders, they would all say the same thing. From the very beginning, even when they couldn't afford it, they showed up because they knew that they needed to, because they needed to set the example and they needed to be there to grow. It's just what we do. And that's why I'm glad we're having this conversation now, because again, it's in August. There's so much that can be done before August, and it's in Vegas. And so there's a lot of affordable ways to get to Vegas and to stay in Vegas. So, that's beneficial about going there, is I think there's, a lot of reasonable places to stay versus, other parts of the country where maybe there isn't. Mm-hmm. But it makes it, very affordable for people.
Well, and I want to kind of piggyback on what Rachel said. Your team does what you do, not what you say. Right. And if you're going to build a team and an organization with integrity is being a woman or a man of your word. And so if you say y'all should get to the celebration, then you all should get there, right? So that's my 2 cents.
Now, Lynn, I have a question. If somebody has already achieved executive and maybe are not maintaining to get to your particular event, they either would need to get to executive again in the reset, meaning they need 10 new consultants that could all be on one side though, correct? Or they need to help one of their personally enrolled get to executive, correct?
Right. So New York Kickoff was kind of the delineation time. So from New York Kickoff on, if you promoted to executive before New York Kickoff,
what was the date on
that? At New York Kickoff in January.
Yeah, sometime January 12th.
I can't remember the date. I'd have to look and see. Okay. I don't remember. But they have probably right around there. It was around the 12th. Mm-hmm. And that was when we put it out there with 10 to top. And we said, okay, we're going to do this retreat. So if you're already an executive, go executive again with the Crystal Reset is one way to get there. And it can be an and or, because you can do both of these things. Help one of your personally enrolled achieve executive. That also gets you there, if you were already an executive before that date. Does that make sense?
Yep. Yeah. Okay. Now, what about the baseball? What do they call that?
For that one, they need to be executive. They need to, let's see, it's anyone who promoted the date. If you go to Crystal League Isogenics, they have to get there by July 12th. So it's that entire year. If you advance to executive any time in that year time frame up to July 12th, then you get I think it's 2 invites, you and a guest, to the Crystal League reception.
Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Does anybody else have any questions for Lynn tonight?
The dog does. The Poochie does.
He just learned how to bark a couple days ago, and now he's barking constantly. Did we lose Dana? Oh, there you are.
Yep.
Anybody else have any questions?
No, they're just excited to run and to get there. Go executive. Find 10 friends who know 2 friends who eat. That's what
exactly. And then next week's going to be super exciting with the UK launch.
Oh my goodness. I'm telling you, you guys, it's so interesting. I've never really had a large team. In my former company, they were open in the UK, but we had issues over there. So I really didn't have a large team over there, but it's so exciting. We have several hundred people pre-enrolled on our team in the UK, and they are so fired up because in the UK, they really have not had anything like Isogenics. They're so excited to have the class, the caliber, the professionalism of our company, what the company is putting out there as far as an office and all the road shows and all the support. They're just absolutely, absolutely blown away. And this is where, again, I want you all to see yourself there. It's that abundant mindset of saying, you know what, I don't know anyone there yet, but I'm going to. It's waking up every day with the affirmations of, I can't wait to see who I'm going to meet today. I can't wait. I can't wait. And Michael, I remember sharing a story in his former company where they were opening in Germany, which we'll be opening in Germany too, probably maybe in a year or so. And Germany is huge with network marketing, but this guy was just determined. And everywhere he went, who do you know in Germany? Who do you know in Germany? Who do you know in Germany? And, you know, and a lot of times it doesn't go anywhere, but that's where you have to be willing to do it no matter what. You know, not just a few times and then feel like you're knocked over and then you quit. It's like you just keep going, you keep going, you keep going, you keep going. And so he had, several people I think that started in Germany, and nothing really amounted much to anything. Maybe a few product users, a few people dabbling. And then he asked that question again, you know, who do you know in Germany? And someone said, hey, you know what? Actually, I do know someone in Germany, and I think this person could be perfect for you. Reached out to that person, ended up being the top income earner in Germany for the company. But he was just talking about how persistent this person was in every conversation, asking them, who do you know? Who do you know? And I love that who do you know conversation and who do you know in the UK, because you can't lose with that. Because even if they don't know anyone in the UK, they may have no idea what you do and they're going to ask you why. And so then you're able to practice sharing what it is that you do. And some of you may say, well, but Lynn, what do you say? And I'll tell you, it's never the same. Because if you're really listening, and I'm having a conversation with Rachel, or I'm having it with Jennifer Jobson, or I'm having it with Anne Marie, or I'm having it with Amy, or Gloria, or Pam, I'm listening to them, and I'm getting to know them, even if it's just in a few minutes. Like, I'm really, literally listening, because I'm trying to understand what avenue or route my story is going to go, if that makes sense. So when I'm sharing the isogenic story, I may gear it way more towards the product with one person than I would for someone else that just shared with me how frustrated they were because they were having to work more hours. They used to like their job, but they don't anymore. They're missing their kids' games. I'm going to go a different direction with that person versus someone who's saying, oh, I'm just so sick and tired of feeling this way. You know, it's like my clothes don't fit. Does that make sense? It's never the same thing. There's no magic words that Lynn Hagedorn says or Michael Klaus says. We've just become really good listeners. And so, you know, prospecting is listening, and it's finding a hole. Presenting is filling the hole. It's filling the need. And over time, you just become better and better and better at it. So with the UK opening, why not practice that by asking, who do you know in the UK? Because that's going to help you become a better listener, and it's going to help you to share the isogenic story. So that's what I love about opening in new countries, because I think it just opens up great dialogue with people.
Yeah. Awesome. Thank you so much, Lynn. I know you'll see me at Celebration. I'm going.
Oh, I know you are. And I know you're going to be in Banff too.
I'm going to Banff. Rachel.
Top achievers, baby. Oh, and you guys, I'm telling you, next year, wait until you hear where Top Achievers is going to be next year. They're making Top Achievers next year into a global Top Achievers. So all the top achievers from all over the world will convene in one place. So like right now it's North America. So I think it's United States and Canada that do this particular top achievers. Australia has their own. Asia has their own. Next year it's going to be a global top achievers. And think beautiful oceans and palm trees and things like that.
Lynn Hagedorn. Why do you do that? Now we're all going to be like waking up at 3 a.m. going, what are you talking about?
But think about this, you guys. Every single one of you has the opportunity to be at Top Achievers next year. It all starts with what you choose to do today, your mindset around what you choose to do today, your focus today, and your focus when you wake up tomorrow. Absolutely. Consistently sharing the story. Abundant mindset of what you're going to create and the lives that you're going to impact and the people that you're going to help. Because imagine sitting around the pool with global top leaders from Malaysia, Taiwan, Australia, Indonesia, and meeting these incredible life changers and go-givers from around the world. I get goosebumps. I'm so excited. So it just keeps getting better and better. I can promise you that.
When do they announce that?
I think actually I heard from Doug Jensen it was either going to be this week or next.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Very exciting.
Awesome sauce.
Awesome sauce. All right, you guys. Well, thank you so much for joining us. I'm pumped up. I'm going to get back to my follow-up and
Perfect.
Happen.
Me too.
Game on.
Thank you so much, Lynn, for hopping
Executive
on.
or bust, baby. Executive or bust.
Absolutely.
Let's go out and change some lives. I'll tell you what, you do this long enough. And, I posted yesterday a little screenshot from one of the leaders that I just love and adore, that her business this past year has really soared, and her 5-figure monthly check has gotten quite extraordinary, and just life-changing for her family. And I posted that. And I mean, my immediate reaction to her is, I cannot wait for you to get the same text from someone on your team. It's such a beautiful thing. But, again, it's the steps that you're choosing to take today and tomorrow, and the mindset around that. So I love you guys. And I can't wait to be with you all again soon.
Love you too. Good night, you guys. Thanks for hopping on.
Bye.
Bye.
Aw.
Bye.